Give Me Grace, a podcast by Alan and Nolan. It's brought to you by the Corn Dog Company, home of the Honey Dog, and by Alder Cabinet Installations, classy cabinets for classy people, and by Division 7 Specialties, the TIPS awarded building envelope consultants firm, and by generous donations from the Friends of the Give Me Grace Project. With all that said, enjoy the show.
I came here looking for something I couldn't find anywhere else. Hey, I'm not trying to be nobody, I just want a chance to be myself. I've spent 1,000 miles of thumbing. Yes, I've worn blisters on my heels, trying to find me something better here on the streets of Bakersfield. Hey, you don't know me, but you don't like me. Say you care less how I feel, but how many of you that sit and judge me ever walk the streets of Bakersfield? Spent some time in San Francisco, I spent a night there in the can. Lived through this drunk man in my jail cell. I took $15 from that man, left him my watch and my old house key. Don't want folks thinking that I'd steal. Then I thanked him as I was leaving, and I headed out for Bakersfield. Hey, you don't know.
All right. Welcome to episode 23 of the Give Me Grace Project. This is a journey through our past, embarked upon by Nolan Mickelson and I, Corky Hansen. Am grateful to be William Clark to his Meriwether Lewis. So, have we used that one?
No, that's a good one.
Good, yeah. I live in Lewis and Clark County, as it turns out. There's all kinds of Lewis and Clark stuff here because we're 20 miles from the Missouri.
Right.
Yeah.
Does Montana claim Lewis and Clark as much as Idaho tries to
Oh,
claim?
Yeah, we do. Western Montana does anyway.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, because they got off up near Glacier, and yeah, I mean, the Three Rivers where they found the end of the Missouri is what? An hour from here.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's when they headed off through Idaho, is when they found Missouri ended and they weren't at the coast. They're like, okay, what do we do now? Let's head off to where Sacagawea was born.
Oh, Sacagawea.
Sacagawea.
That's how you say it?
Yeah.
That's not what we were told in fourth grade.
No, we called her Sacagawea.
Sacagawea sounds better.
Yeah, Sacagawea. Yeah. And get this, her birthplace is very near the town of Salmon, Idaho.
Okay.
Currently.
Shoshone?
Yeah.
What's the name of
Shoshone?
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, she is. So, Chad's in.
Woo! It's Chad.
It's Chad.
There he is.
There he is. Go, James.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
What's up, guys?
Hey, it's so good to see you.
You too.
I have been so excited for this, Chad. I can't tell you, because I don't think I've talked to you since maybe graduation.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I've probably been back to Grace twice since graduation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you reached out, I'm like, Nolan Mickelson? There's no way this is Nolan.
How many Nolan Mickelsons could there be? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing. Well, I had to use this as my background because we got some questions for you about this background photo here.
Yeah, you and me both.
Can you remember
That's
it?
hilarious.
It's from the yearbook.
Yeah, I was in our yearbook.
Oh, yearbook, yeah. That's probably because we were all on that yearbook photo team.
The girls are like, hey, we have this great idea. Like the three of us can drape ourselves all over you while we take a picture.
Guys like, sure.
Yeah, good theory. Take it.
You have no idea how this all went down?
I'm pretty sure it's because we were in the journalism class and had to do photos for the yearbook. I remember going in and doing photos for yearbook and developing them and whatnot. So, yeah.
Were you on student council also, or just the journalism class?
I was in the student council on what year, guys?
Maybe that's a senior
Sophomore?
year.
That could have been the council, because I think a bunch of you goobers threw my name in for like secretary or something. Yeah, I think Scott was the ringleader of that.
Sounds like something Scott would do.
Yeah.
Maybe the girls were like, Scott, throw Chad's name in so we can take a picture with him. It's got a little bit of a Charlie's Angels type vibe, right?
Right.
It's true.
Yeah, we'll go with it.
What was the name of the dude in charge of the Angels?
Charlie.
You
never saw Charlie. It was
just the voice.
Who was the other guy?
That's a good question.
Oz or something? Bill Murray played
Bosley? Maybe?
Bosley.
Yeah, you're probably right.
This is more of a Bosley thing than Charlie then.
You were Bosley, and those were the Angels.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I got to say, Chad, I have no shame in saying you were one good-looking young lad. That's movie star right there.
Hey, you know what? Thank you. And I need those pictures to show my family. I did have hair at one time.
Yeah, like the rest of us.
Yep. Indeed. Gosh, I love that you guys are doing this. This is super exciting to see everybody.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah. I see Dusty every once in a while.
Yeah. I ran into Dusty. We're going to get him on. He had hay to put up. Yeah.
Good.
I ran into him at the state wrestling tournament in Idaho about 3 years ago. My nephew was there from Meridian. So I saw his son was wrestling and went over and found him.
Yeah. Yeah, his son was good. His son was like a state champion. I
think he was really good. Yeah. He was a good wrestler.
So you already have the questions memorized then, huh? You've been watching all the episodes?
Oh yeah, they're memorized.
At least we're not going to quiz you on naming all the kids in one of your elementary school classes.
That's true.
I know. I saw that. I saw Kevin's last night. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah.
On the chat, on the messenger, we had most of the kids named, but not all.
There was still like 2 people that nobody knew.
Yeah, that's true.
So, well, tell us, where do you live nowadays?
Well, my address is Texas City, but if most people hear Texas City, they think the oil refinery and whatnot, but we're about 12 miles off the island of Galveston.
Okay.
And so we live in a community called Lagomar. Like I said, the address is Texas City, but it's not in Texas City.
Lagomar. That's a Texas name because that's like Lake C, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a big 12-acre man-made lagoon that's part of our community that kind of drew us there. We lived on the island for about 6 months while the house was being built and thought about living on the island, but ended up just off. So,
any concerns with hurricanes?
We've only been through the one. We've only lived there for this December will be 3 years. So we went through Burl, and it wasn't bad. I mean, it was loud, crazy, incredible amount of rain. The maximum winds that we hit was 89 miles an hour. So nothing like a lot of them are. And there's concerns about it, but we're pretty well prepared with hurricane shutters and all that kind of stuff.
Good. But you don't have to put up plywood. That's
no, ours are metal and they're built for the house.
Right.
And you turn the knob and they close. I love those.
I wish. I'll have to put them up, but they are cut specifically for the house.
Oh, okay.
But I
hope
I never have to.
Yeah.
When we went through Burl, I didn't put them up. I was kind of going off of my neighbors and whatnot that have been through multiple. But yeah, it's a great area. We love it.
How far are you from like downtown Houston?
40 miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're a bit of a drive.
Yeah. We're 20 miles from Hobby Airport. So I'm there all the time.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Very good. People who haven't been to Texas would think there's not anything south of Houston, but there's a lot of folks who live down there.
Yeah. And it's just growing like crazy, but Galveston's great. The beaches are nice. I mean, they're, the Mississippi dumps into the Gulf, and it's not as nice as South Padre and Corpus Christi, but there's times when it's pretty blue. But
I think maybe they add some blue food coloring or something to make it look blue.
Yeah, right.
Corky and I both lived in Corpus, and so we know how green and murky the water can be there. But when my family came in like January, they were loving it, getting in the water and playing around. It's like no big deal, because the California beaches are cold water.
Yeah, definitely. When we first experienced the Atlantic, being in the Pacific all the time, cold and definitely bluer. But there's times during the summer, the Gulf, it's like getting in a bathtub.
Yeah. So what do you do that takes you all over the country?
Well, I'm a nurse. I'm a chief nursing officer for Madison Creek Partners. We are a long-term care nursing home, post-acute care company. I have 12 buildings. I have 7 in Colorado and 5 in California. 2 of those are post-acute care vent facilities. And so I'm over everything clinical, pharmacy, nursing, nutrition. And so
you're busy.
I am. I've only been with this company for 3 years. I was the senior VP of clinical for another company for most of my career. And we had over 200 buildings with that group. And then after COVID hit, that company gradually, sold off, and I ended up with this company. And it's great. I love having only 12 buildings. It's wonderful.
Only 12. We'll get into how you got to that point, but it sounds to me like a lot of travel. You're probably on the road more than you're at home, or?
Well, my wife and I travel a lot, especially recently.
For fun.
More so for fun. But I try to make it to where I'm only gone Tuesday night and Wednesday night, home Thursday. So I'm not on the road as much. The majority of my career, I was gone all week, every week. And in this position, I shouldn't have to be. And I've had to kind of build a new team over the last couple of years. And it's nice. Now I'm pretty routine with out on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and home on a Thursday. And then I try to do 1 week at home a month to where I can just stay in the office. And it's been pretty consistent that way.
Okay.
That's not too bad.
You gave us a clue. You talked about your wife. Tell us more about your wife.
Yeah. My wife's wonderful. Her name's Lisa. We've been together for 14 years. And when I met Lisa, she had 3 kids and I had 3 kids, 3 boys, 3 girls. She had 2 girls and a boy, and I had 2 boys and a girl. They all lived with us. It was a crazy, crazy household of 5 teenagers, and 4 of them were the same age. And
oh boy!
Dun, dun, dun.
Did you have Alice to help out?
I wished. And my wife definitely wished more so than I, because back during those days, I was really out on the road, and she worked full time, and God bless her.
I wish I was an architect, but I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have 6 kids between us and 5 grandbabies.
Okay.
Wow, that's close to the lead. That might be even with Todd.
Yeah, I was watching Todd's, and you were talking about that, and we have 5, and they live all over the country. We don't live near any one of them. Unfortunately, we don't get to see the grandbabies as often as we would like. One of our boys lives in Wisconsin. He's a CPA. Both he and his wife are CPAs.
What's his name?
Cameron.
Okay.
Yep. They have 2 babies, 3 years and a year.
So we're not going to quiz you on your classmates, but what are your grandbabies' names? Those 2.
Oh, that would be Millie and Eddie.
Millie?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
She's just adorable.
Is it short for Mildred, or did they just go right?
It is. Nope, you're right on. It is short for Mildred, and Eddie is short for Edward. Yeah, they went with the old school names, and so super cool.
So that's Cameron, and he's in Wisconsin?
Yep, he's in Holman, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So Cameron is Lisa's oldest son. Kendra is Lisa's oldest daughter. Skylar is my oldest son, and Skylar and Kendra are the same age. They're just days apart. And so Kendra lives in Colorado. She works for me. She's one of our administrators in one of our Colorado facilities. So nice. She's single, just focusing on her career, doing an amazing job.
Where in Colorado?
Denver.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Skylar is a respiratory therapist in Omaha, Nebraska for the University of Omaha Medical Center. And he has 2 babies. One's 4 and one is 2, Clayton and Lorelei. Lorelei.
Another great name.
Yeah, just great babies. Just love the grandkids. They're so wonderful. Yeah. And so Skylar, he's getting married in October in a year. So, and then we have Michaela. They're all ours, they're mine, but they're Lisa's youngest daughter, and she and her boyfriend have a 1-year-old baby just a couple of days ago, and they kind of travel all over. He works constructions, building skate parks and BMX parks, and so they kind of drive all over doing that. And their baby's Leo, so that's our 5 grandbabies. And then next is Dustin, and he is in Bremerton, Washington. He's in the Navy. Yeah, and then our youngest is Lexi. And Lexi is 17, and she actually lives with her mom in Idaho. Okay. She's 17, going on 30.
Okay.
There was a movie, I think 13 going on 30, but
yeah, it's pretty much the same.
All right.
You did really well on that.
That's impressive.
Great kid.
Lots to remember.
Yeah.
Do you have any pets, or you guys don't have any time for pets?
Oh, no, we do. We have a big old black lab. His name's Gunner, and he is 11, maybe 12 this year.
Okay.
He's a beast, 120 pounds. He's awesome. And then about a year ago, my wife decided that she needed a French bulldog. So we have a Frenchie, and she's wonderful. She's a cutie, little Ruby, spoiled as can be.
They're the ones that like their snout is clear back in their face?
Yeah, they look like they ran into a wall. Yeah, so ugly that she's cute.
Yeah. They slobber a lot?
No, Gunner drools more than she does. Yeah.
Very good. So now you get to tell us how all of this came to be. From graduating from high school, how did you end up where you're at now?
Catch me up. I seemingly lost track of you May whatever 1989.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. After graduating, I ended up out in Nevada working in the gold mines for a while through the summer.
Where at? What town?
Elko area.
Okay.
Out in
Central, right?
Yeah, well, it's maybe 2 hours from Twin Falls, 3 hours maybe.
Oh, north then.
Yeah. And so I worked there for the summer, and then after that came back and lived in Salt Lake for a while with my brother, just doing some odd jobs and whatnot. But I was pretty sick. I started getting sick the last couple months of our high school.
I remember this. You lost a lot of weight.
I got a blood clot in probably March of our last year of high school, and ended up in the hospital last year. And things kind of went downhill from there for the next several years. For many years, they said I had Crohn's disease. And that went on for a variety of years. I went on a mission, went to Phoenix, went on a mission, came back, just still dealing with the illness. Started physical therapy school. So what I wanted, what it started out was I wanted to be a physical therapist at Idaho State. But I just was too sick. Could never stay in class or make it to class. Withdrew from that and just tried to, I went from doctor to doctor for a few years, did a bunch of odd jobs, just trying to make money. And ultimately ended up finding a physician down at the University of Utah. I'd have my whole large intestine taken out.
Wow.
And it was pretty crazy. So work lost me back for a year, and then had that all rehooked back up, and in the hospital for a month for the big surgery. And then when it was all rehooked up, back in the hospital for another month. And eventually was able to get back into school. And through being sick all the time, I decided I wanted to be a nurse. And I never thought I would be doing what I'm doing, never in a million years. So I ended up in nursing school, did some school at Idaho State, ended up transferring, went up to CSI at Twin Falls, got my degree in nursing. And while I was going to school, I was working in nursing home. Never thought I'd be a nurse in long-term care. When I graduated, my goal was to be a pediatric nurse practitioner. Got accepted down into University of Utah to their program, and I couldn't make it work with new family and school and just recovering, and it just wasn't cards. And obviously, it was meant to be. I just ended up working the floor as a nurse, then worked my way up, and I stayed in long-term care. I worked hospitals and ERs and critical care and all that kind of stuff on the side on weekends and whatnot. But my primary gig was in long-term care and skilled rehab, and ultimately just worked my way through positions and director of nursing and running my own building to where I am now. And it's been an amazing career. I've been a nurse for 28 years, I think.
Yeah.
Love it. We're unbelievably blessed with the career. I go about 8 years, and then I have problems with my intestines and whatnot, and I end up back in the hospital, and then go about another 8 years. But long story short, what they found out, it was not Crohn's disease and it was not ulcerative colitis. It came from working out,
Really?
No way.
That all those days of squatting like we were, guys, and lifting. I remember one of the times when we were working out, I had some back problems afterwards, and the area where the nerve that fed my large intestine was crushed. And so it killed my large intestine due to nerve damage.
Wow.
And when they took it out, my large intestine was completely dead. But I was good. Yeah.
So is that a common injury that athletes might get?
I don't know.
But it took a while for someone to finally get the right diagnosis.
Long time. It was years and years and years. And it just happened to have a radiologist that really could see it. And he's like, this is what happened.
That's insane. That's another reason not to lift weights, I think, right there.
Well, interesting. Like all of us, my boys were crazy into weightlifting and whatnot. And our youngest son, his older brothers would always pick on him during growing up and whatnot. The typical sibling things. And we told him all the time, just wait. You're going to grow into your body and you're going to be okay. And he did. He's just a beast. And he goes and lives. And his senior year, he was like, Dad, my back hurts so bad. And we're like, oh, suck it up, buddy. You're fine. You're like, you're not bleeding. You're fine. And he got to the point where he started losing wrestling matches and whatnot. It was just hurting. And so like, fine. My wife and I, we took him into the clinic, and doctor came in and looked at him and said, when did you break your back?
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I felt like,
wow.
No way. He had a chunk of his bone just kind of floating there. Yeah. So we're like, he immediately got put in a tortoise shell, and everything's good. It's all good. But it was just one of those moments that made you feel like a great parent.
That's how you learn to be tough.
Right?
That's something. Thinking about your road, Chad, and getting your career, it's hard to tell young people this, and it's hard for us when we were young too, but getting on the right path is so much more important than getting on a quick path. You know what I mean? Because of your illness, it took you a while to find your place in your career, but at this point, those years don't even matter because you have the right path. That's pretty cool.
It's been great. We are blessed. It's a good gig. I love it.
I'm sure you didn't feel like that at the time when you were 23, 24 and still battling with illness and not being able to get off the ground. But man,
it was a long road, but God had a purpose.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm interested. How did you meet your new wife?
Single guy in Macy's in Tampa. And she's an occupational therapist. She's retired now. But at the time, she was an occupational therapist and doing some part-time work in Macy's. And I was in Macy's shopping for some clothes. And she was there, and we got talking, and here we are.
How about that? I've heard good things about the Nampa Macy's, actually.
Well, that's a good story. Love at first sight, or it took a while, or
Well, you know what? I stayed in the store and spent way too much money because I wanted to continue to talk to her, and we went out later that night.
wow.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
that's cool. Wouldn't that have been ironic that you were spending money to be able to spend time with her, and then you ask her, and she's like, "I'm a little worried about your spending habits. I don't
I
know."
know, right? Sorry, I tell you to spend the money. You're done.
The solution was the problem all along.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it worked out. That's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
That's a good
Wonderful
story.
lady. Yep.
Do you return to that Macy's every once in a while? I'm just like, this is where it all started.
When we shop at Macy's every once in a while out here, but we don't make it back to Idaho too often.
Yeah, so you were living in Boise at that time.
Yep.
Very
Yeah.
good. Should we move to some faves?
Yeah, I think we're ready for part 2.
All right, Chad. When you eat food, what do you like to eat?
Oh my gosh. It's a toss up on faves between either Thai or Mexican. Would probably say my favorite go to would be Thai.
Okay. You like the spicy Thai and the spicy Mexican?
I do. The spicier the better. But as of late, as I'm getting older, they can't be quite as spicy.
Yeah.
Your favorite Thai dish?
Basil, chicken, fried rice. Yeah.
That sounds good.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Good stuff. What beverage do you find yourself drinking?
Probably Mountain Dew Zero. Or as of late, doing some blueberry Topo Chico.
Really?
Wait, what is this? Is this a Texas thing? What?
So this tonic water,
Oh, like a sparkling water. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
but they have flavored ones?
Yeah. Super good.
What's the flavor again?
Blueberry hibiscus.
Blueberry hibiscus. You check that out, Noel. It's probably a regional thing, I'm guessing.
I'm not a fan of the sparkling waters.
I really hadn't been either, and tried the lemon lime one day, and hey, that's not too bad.
If you like sparkling water, you really like seltzer water, sparkling water, it's kind of the same.
Yeah,
Which I think it's good for you, right?
it's good for digestion. Yeah,
Okay.
It's super recent. I really didn't even think much of it until we were in Greece this summer. They asked you if you want water, and over there it's like, do you want sparkling or still? I'm like, well, what's still? Water's water, but everything was sparkling over there, and so yeah. But my go-to is probably Mountain Dew Zero.
I didn't even know there was Mountain Dew Zero. I should have. But that's awesome. All right. Any of the newfangled flavors or just the classic Mountain Dew flavor?
No, just classic. Yeah.
What about dessert?
Well, I'm a cookie guy, but they got to be big and thick and chewy, and that's my go-to. If I'm at a restaurant going to order dessert, it would be a coconut cream pie.
No.
Coconut cream pie.
That's good stuff.
Your big cookies, any specific flavor?
Chocolate chip and oatmeal. Yeah.
That sounds good.
I like the oatmeal in them because then I can sneak one for breakfast and tell myself it's good because it's got oatmeal in it.
Hey, it has wheat and flour. And...
Absolutely. That's what I tell my wife anyway. Hey, it's a
Makes
good
sense.
cookie. Oatmeal, it's breakfast.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you have crumble cookie in Texas? Has it made its way to Texas yet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's big.
Oh, yeah. So good.
Y'all know where that was founded, right?
That's
Logan,
a Utah
right?
thing, right?
Logan, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Logan.
Mhm.
All right. What about music?
My all favorites really just country or contemporary Christian now. Whatever's on the radio.
No, you travel a lot. Do you listen to music when you travel? Do you listen to podcasts, or are you just open air kind of guy?
I'm on the phone so much and you're talking all the time. When I'm in the car, I am good with silence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the plane, I'll either work or occasionally I might read or watch a movie that's on the plane, but I like my silence.
Very good. And you're a frequent traveler. Do you find yourself talking to people as you travel, or are you more of a I'm in my space kind of traveler?
Probably in my space. Yeah. I'm really kind of in my space type guy.
Yeah, I am too when I travel. I don't travel that much. All right. How about hobbies? Travel sounds like one of them.
Well, for getting out and traveling with my wife and doing it for fun, we just started that this year with all the kids and whatnot and work. We just never really got to it until this year. And we really have enjoyed doing some cruises, especially living right by Galveston. It's cruise port, so it's super super inexpensive. The actual travel for leisure is kind of a new thing, and especially new for me. My wife, her dad was military, so they traveled all over the place. Other than that, anything outdoors still. Love to hunt and fish, and we belong to a boat club down in the area, so we're out on the boat often.
Oh, nice. What kind of boat?
Yeah, whatever you want. When we moved to Texas, we want to be out on the water, so our goal was to buy a cruising boat and just enjoy water skiing, whatever. But then trying to find a place to where we could have the property to store it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We just didn't want to deal with all that. And one of the guys from church is like, well, you ever looked at the boat club? I'm like, I've never even heard of such a thing.
This is new to me. Educate.
Never heard of it.
A yacht club.
Not a yacht club. But he's like, yeah, no storage fee, no maintenance, no insurance.
You pay a monthly membership fee.
We pay it just as an annual because it's
Okay.
less money, but
Okay.
it equals out to be far cheaper than even just a boat payment.
Yeah.
And all the boats are always brand new. And
So you just go down there and you just check out a boat, like a book at the library.
just go on our app and say, want to go boating tomorrow? I'll reserve it. We go down, take our cooler and our towels and suntan, and they have the boat ready. We go out and play all over and bring it back, and all you pay for is your gas. You don't have to clean it. You don't have to do anything. And we can go fishing. We can do tubing, water skiing. We'll go tubing and stuff. But a lot of times we just go and we'll go out way out into the bay and just watch the dolphins and go and we'll pull up to a restaurant on the bay and just enjoy. But they're all over the world. And the one that we joined, there's 450 marinas across the world. And we can go anywhere.
Oh, wow. It's not even just located there. Wow.
All over. So we can be in Spain and wherever. You just, again, you go to the app, pick your location.
How about that?
Go to the boat. So that's a big hobby. We do that a lot.
That's awesome. That's a great way to enjoy a boat without having all the headaches like you're
so great.
You gotta check that out, Noel.
Oh, if I had time. And I don't like water, so maybe that's not my thing. When we lived in Corpus, though, we would go out and watch the dolphins.
Yeah.
At Port Aransas, and that was enjoyable. So
yeah,
I could stay on the land.
Yeah, I can see that. That's nice.
What do you catch when you go out fishing?
We've only been out a handful of times, but typically red drum, some small shark, catfish, things like that.
Yeah. People freak out when they hear that people catch a shark, but they're little sharks.
Oh, they're just tiny little things, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some very large sharks in Galveston, especially on the further west end, Nolan, right at the very far end of Galveston Island, the San Luis Pass is known for massive hammerhead. Like we're talking, 18-foot type thing, big hammerhead. They're there.
But you haven't hooked into one yet.
No.
I've heard that the surfing around Galveston is underrated and kind of a well-kept secret by those who surf because they don't want to be overrun. Have you picked up surfing at all?
I have not. So I'm kind of like you, Nolan. I don't like the water. I just can't swim. I'm not a big fan of the water. I like being on the water, on the boat. We've been trying to do some snorkeling on some of our adventures, and I'm just a rock. For some reason, I just sink to the bottom, and I can't get my brain in my mouth to figure out snorkeling, and so I end up drinking half of the water. And so I'm just not a fan of being in the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Did your family boat and stuff like that growing up? It's a little tougher in Grace, but.
Yeah, we would go down to, we called it the Narrows, but the Oneida.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we would go down there and boat often.
Did you have a boat? Did your parents have a boat?
They did.
Okay. With my friends, a lot of times that's kind of how it happens is you grow up with one and then it's like pass through the generations a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. So I think we're going to turn back the clock now. Right, Noel?
Yeah. So the question is, did you attend Thatcher or Grace? I think you went to both, right?
I went to Thatcher in 4th grade.
Okay.
That's great. Okay.
Yeah, the only year.
Okay.
Oh, you missed the upstairs classroom in Grace
I
Elementary.
did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I went to Thatcher and had Mrs. Collins.
Fun.
Yeah, all 4 feet of her.
Yeah. But man, she was strict.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. I think that's when JJ Donnelly moved.
It was. Yeah, he moved in 4th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
What kind of memories do you have of Thatcher or Grace or both?
Not any crazy memories. The only thing that sticks out in 4th grade in Thatcher is I remember Mrs. Conlon being gone and we had a substitute. And I remember Randy Kirby was bent over a desk and I come up behind him and kicked him. And he ended up hitting his head on the desk. And yeah, Mrs. Conlon was not happy the next day. I remember that.
That got back to her, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder if Randy still remembers that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What about your Grace memories?
Gosh, Grace was great.
Was it hard going from being at Grace for 3 grades and then transitioning to Thatcher and then back to Grace?
I don't think so. I don't remember any difficulties. I loved going to Grace. I thought it was great.
Did you have any favorite teachers in Grace Elementary?
You know what? I liked Mr. Clark.
I liked Mr. Clark too.
Yep, I had him for 5th grade.
Yeah.
So you guys were in the same 5th grade class then, I assume?
Yeah, we must have been because I had Mr. Clark because everybody talks about Mrs. Kingston.
Yep.
We were over there with Mr. Clark next door. I remember his classroom was in between Mr. Lowe and Mrs.
Yes, he was in that back corner. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. He was a custodian at the high school later on.
Yeah.
And I worked for him. Brett Keller and I worked. It was Mr. Clark who was our supervisor when we had our summer job. So I got to know him pretty well. I like Mr. Clark.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
So what about junior high? Any favorite teachers in junior high?
I liked Mr. Washburn. I enjoyed his classes. He's quite the guy. And Coach Gill, I had him for science when he came back. And yeah, those are the 2 that really stand out, I think.
Any crazy stories from junior high days?
Yeah. I remember Coach Gill giving me a SWAT and Jared Rasmussen because we were horsing around and causing trouble for Miss Peck, who was substituting. And we got a SWAT in front of the class. I remember bending over that desk.
Ooh. Okay.
When Kevin was on his episode, it sounds like he got a fair share of SWATs. That was interesting. He talked about how many different teachers gave him a SWAT. Good old junior high days.
On a recent episode, and I think it was Coach Keel, someone said that they participated in a SWAT test.
That's right.
It wasn't punishment. It was like a review session where you had to answer a question in front of the class, and if you got it wrong, you got a SWAT.
Oh my gosh.
Remember anything like that?
I don't remember that at all.
I don't either.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Kristen that said that.
Yeah, I think it was Kristen Perkins. You're right. Yeah. Weird stuff.
All right. So now your glory days, as we see in the picture, are in high school. Tell us about your high school experience there in Grace.
High school was great. We had such a great group of friends. I do wish that I would have studied. I loved all of our friends. We were so close and just loved high school. I remember being in my microbiology class in college and my professor pulled me out and said, "Have you ever studied before?" And I said, "No." And she's like, "If you want to pass this course, you better learn to study." And so I think all the time, I really wish I would have put in as much energy into football and hanging out with everybody and just studying. Learned the hard way.
Do you think that it kind of just came natural to you, so you're able to get by? Because I didn't study a lot either. Never have really, but.
No, I just got by. Yeah.
Any favorite coaches or teachers in high school?
Hands down, Coach Smith.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Coach Smith. Just a great guy. For a long time, he was in our ward at church and of course through school and football and everything and weightlifting, and just got to know him really well. And yeah.
He loved you too. I know that. If Coach Smith would have gone into his chemistry lab and created a football player, he would have come out Chad James, I think.
Oh, heck.
Did you have any opportunity to play football or any sport after high school?
So I guess I did have an opportunity at Southern Utah State, but I was so sick and it just wasn't worth me pursuing. Talked it through with Coach Smith quite a lot and a couple of scouts. And I remember going into the coach's office there and over by the lunchroom and having that conversation, but it wasn't going to come to fruition. Just I wasn't able to do any of the weightlifting, any of the training. I couldn't do track that last little bit because of what was going on, and so it kind of took me out of the running. But it's all good.
Give Me Grace, a podcast by Alan and Nolan, will return after these brief messages.
When you place your next order at the Corn Dog Company, what are you gonna order? Choice is yours, always yours, at the Corn Dog Company. Stop by a location near you today.
At Alder Cabinet Installations, we design classy cabinets for classy people. Looking for a custom cabinet installation for your home or business? Let Alder Cabinet Installations do the work for you. Let us save you money and reduce frustration. We do kitchens, bathrooms, entertainment centers, family rooms, mud rooms, laundry rooms, home offices, and more. Alder Cabinet Installations. Would you like to see the custom cabinets we can design for you? Alder would. Visit our website, aldercabinet1.com, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Now back to this episode of Give Me Grace, a podcast by Alan and Nolan.
You talked about you didn't like the water. Did you get in the flume ever?
No.
You were like me. You were like, okay, I'll go to the flume and hang out, but I'm not getting in the flume.
No, not at all. I'll meet you on the other end.
Yeah.
Not going to do it.
Do you have any crazy stories about any of your classmates from high school?
Not too wild and crazy.
Do you have any sports memories of championship stuff, regrets?
You know what I think about often is our state game.
Yeah.
And you know what runs through my mind many times is when we were down on the 5-3
Oh,
yard.
yeah. It was 13-6. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they kept
And then
coming into that, let's do this play, and none of us knew what to do. Punch it across.
I wasn't in the huddle because I switched off with the other receiver, whoever it was.
Yeah.
But I heard that he was like diagramming a play on the turf.
Yeah, I remember us all looking at one another. I'm like, let's just punch it through. Let's just do a red 3 dive and punch it through.
Yeah, because Clay Bailey broke a long run and got us down there inside the 10, and we would have tied it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a crazy day. So that was such a good year. We had such a fun year.
We had a tough schedule. We had to play Milan twice. We had to play Westside twice, and they only played each other once. So we had the harder road, and we got through it. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want to talk about football for a minute with Chad, because Coach Keel came back junior year to coach us, and Coach Smith came in on the defense, and they weren't in the program at all our freshman or sophomore year. So Coach Smith comes in with the defense, and he has this defense. I think he made it up, right? Yeah, it was a 4-4. It was a 4-4 defense, but the two middle linebackers were basically just like free safeties.
Yeah.
He called them Mick and Mac.
Mick and Mac. Yeah.
And you just basically got to do whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
You terrorized them. So you were Mac junior year, right? Do I have that right? With Tony Rude was the Mick, and you were the Mac, and then senior year you transitioned to the Mick, and Dave played Mac.
Yep.
Yeah. 4-4 Mick Mac.
That's a flashback. Yeah. That is right.
It's crazy. Dusty and I were on the outside line.
Yeah.
Little tiny outside linebackers.
Gosh, those were some good days.
So really, it wasn't a 4-4. If we think about Dusty, especially me, it was really like a 4-2-5. You know, we were like nickel corners in the flat. It was really kind of a 4-2-5.
4-2.
Such an interesting defense.
Yep.
You said we should have just ran the red 3 dive. Is that what you said?
Red 3 dive.
Yeah. It goes to Chad, I think.
That's what I was going to say. He wanted the ball. He wanted the ball.
Absolutely.
I wanted the ball. I was making good yards, and we were all so confused because we could have easily punched it through.
Because on first down, I think you got like 5 yards down to the 2 or something like that. If I remember.
I didn't care if it went to me or to whoever. Let's just punch it through because we're right there and we knew that play.
Yeah.
But
they got in their own head a little bit because their scouting said we couldn't run up the middle on them, but we were.
We were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, Chad, because that moment needed to come out. Corey's going to mention it too, but yeah, that's a good one. Oh, by the way, your number was 23, right? I remember that correctly. This is episode 23.
That is awesome.
I
had 23 sophomore through senior.
Yeah. Okay.
Any reason, or they just handed you 23 when you were?
Nope. That was just the number I chose.
And then Michael Jordan got it after you and made it famous.
He did.
Yeah, that's true. We had a terrible football program our first 2 years. Well, no, freshman year was good. They were good. They couldn't get past Westside. And then we fell off. We lost our coaching staff, and the program kind of fell apart sophomore season.
Sophomore was tough.
Yeah. I didn't play varsity that year. I think I got off easy on the JV. But we kept losing close games our junior year, but then senior year, that was a fun season.
And you did track. Did you also do basketball?
I did not do basketball my senior year.
Okay.
You wrestled, right?
Yeah, I wrestled.
You were wrestling, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
There wouldn't have been time for 4 sports, right? Probably.
You couldn't really do wrestling and basketball, right? They're concurrent.
Yeah, just too much of an overlap. It didn't really work. Our senior year, I couldn't make it to any of the summer basketball camps and stuff. I couldn't get into training that y'all could do. And so you guys were better off without me that year. So I supported you from the sideline.
I don't know about that, but the wrestling team was sure better with you.
Yeah.
That's for sure. You mentioned wrestling with one of your sons. Did they play football as well?
They did. So all 3 boys played football and wrestling. Our oldest boy, his sport was football, and he actually had an opportunity to play at Western State University in Gunnison.
Oh, yeah.
And so his senior year, he and my oldest daughter had to go do something. And I told Kendra, hey, go get Cameron and we need to go on. She come up and said, he's got blood on his face and stuff and was on the floor. And I'm like, what do you mean? So I go down there and it looked like he had been in a fight. And I'm like, son, what did you do last night? Nothing, promise. I'm like, buddy, what did you do? And he's like, Dad, I promise I didn't do anything. Why? What's going on? Well, he ended up having a seizure disorder, and he had a seizure. And so over the next, probably month or whatnot, he had a couple of seizures that unfortunately took him out of the running to play football, which was awful because he's very good, very, very fast, played running back, just a beast. And it was a bummer. I mean, he's good now and whatnot. He was not able to play. He went to Western State University, and they told him that, if you want, you could try and walk on, but it just wasn't safe.
Mm-hmm. Wow. But this is eerily similar to your story.
Yeah, a little bit. Yep. And then our middle son, Skylar, played football, I think freshman and sophomore. He was receiver, but he was really getting into his niche with wrestling. And we lived in Colorado at this time, in Colorado Springs. The kids went to Discovery Canyon. When we were there, it was like ranked number 5 in the nation. It's a crazy school, just unbelievable. And they had just a wonderful wrestling program. And there, you could do any sport you wanted. It was broken out and whatnot. So he decided that he was going to focus on wrestling, and that's what he wanted to do. He had to go to college and wrestle. And so he didn't play football junior and senior. He wrestled, and he ended up getting a scholarship to a school out in Kansas. He did good. He wrestled for a short time, called me up one day and said, Dad, I'm done.
That's right. Wrestled out. That's
awesome. I'm like, no, you're not. He's like, no, Dad, I'm done. Wow. Long story short, he was done. He had a great run. He was just a really, really good wrestler technique wise, but he was done and wanted to focus on his career and just did it.
Know thyself. That's maturity.
Yeah. Did it the hard way, but didn't ask us for a dime and said, I'll do my student loans and I'll pay them off. And he did.
How about that? So did you find yourself coaching wrestling or football when your boys were little?
1 year, Tony Rude and I coached some football, and it was one season. Actually, we were in Utah. As far as my boys, no, I did the dad sideline coach type thing.
Yeah, sure.
Get home and whatnot. But other than that, no.
So you and Tony coach. Did you install the Micmac?
The Micmac? I don't remember.
Did you run Red 3 drive? Red 3
right.
Like every play?
Yeah, that's right, because Tony was the fullback our junior year, his senior year too.
Yeah.
Who did you mostly hang out with in high school? Who's kind of some of your close friends that you spent a lot of time with?
Primarily with John Van Vliet and Scott, Dustin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your place was like Rochelle's. Your place was a gathering place. I remember going to your place a couple of times.
Yeah, we had a lot of parties and hang out, whatnot at the house, and a lot of people over.
All right. Well, I think we're ready for section 4.
All right, here we go. This is the 20th anniversary of Napoleon Dynamite. So where were you living when it came out in 2004?
Oh my gosh, 2004. I think I was in Washington.
Okay. Do you remember it coming out?
I do.
Did you go see it?
I saw it just on TV.
Oh, okay.
And it's on Southwest, so I watched it on the plane the other day.
When you travel. That's awesome.
Awesome.
That's fun.
Yeah.
You like it?
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's a little slow, but it's okay.
Is it relatable?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No?
Yeah.
We haven't asked this probably at all, but I'm interested. What are like your go-to movies? Like what would you put in your top 3 or 5?
River Runs Through It.
Oh, that's a good one. Montana, right there. Yeah. That's Montana.
Yeah, love Montana. I so wish that I knew you lived in Helena, because the company that I told you that I worked with a lot, I had Montana and was in Helena many, many times.
Oh, man. We could have got together.
Great Falls and Butte and Deer Lodge, and been in Helena many times. But yeah.
It's really Nolan's fault because he didn't have this idea.
A long time ago.
I know, Nolan. You should have had your brainstorm a long time ago.
What are you doing?
Probably playing fantasy baseball. That's how we can do both,
as I well know. Yeah, awesome. Well, that's a good movie.
It is good.
Book's good too. I'm Haunted by Water. Yeah, that's good.
Gosh, I don't even know. I had The Green Mile, Shawshank.
Oh, okay, yeah, we have similar tastes in movies, so I'd put those way up there too.
Yeah.
Some people don't like The Green Mile, but I think it's one of the better adaptations of Stephen King.
I love that movie. Yeah, great. Yeah.
All right. So Bluebell or Turner's?
Oh, Bluebell.
Yeah. What'd you do at Bluebell? You play pool?
Occasionally, yeah. Probably more of the video games or whatnot, but definitely had a few pool games.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I think it was you, Nolan. Whenever you had a long shot and there was a lot of pool table, do you remember what somebody would say?
Lego Magic?
No, I don't remember that. A lot of
Oh,
pasture.
maybe. Jeremy Condi.
Oh, you know what? I
It
bet
might
you're
have been.
right. That feels like Jeremy Condi.
I
Got a
remember-
lot of pasture there you got to cover. Yeah.
If you kind of just hit the ball with a hope that a ball might end up going in, that was called Lego Magic, I think.
Oh, okay. Lego Magic. I don't remember.
Too.
I didn't have any. What'd you eat there? Did you ever eat at Bluebell, Chad?
I think that I had some tacos there.
Was it a taco or a deep fried burrito?
Well, I think it was a taco that maybe it ended up like a burrito. I don't know. What I think about it now is the Jack in the Box taco that's,
Okay. That could be.
Oh, okay. Very good. Did you ever go to Turner's?
You know what? I worked there for a while.
You worked at Turner's?
I was a dishwasher. I would go and work the farm, move pipe, do all that kind of stuff in the morning, and then I would go do dishes. My dad and mom reupholstered all of those booths and chairs and stuff in Turner's.
Oh,
so
okay.
knew them pretty well, and I washed dishes.
How about that? Is that what your parents did? Did they do home redesign?
Well, Dad worked out in the mines out past Soda. But
that's okay. That's what I thought, because my dad did too. They never worked for
Yeah.
the company, but they had the same similar line.
yeah, Dad knew your dad very, very well. Still builds cars.
Is that right? Oh, I
Yeah.
remember him doing that. Yeah, there was always working on a car. Yeah.
He's still doing it. He still has a hot rod shop there in McCammon. Mm-hmm.
You had a
Is that
nice
right?
car in high school?
Yeah, I had that Firebird.
What
That
year
red
was it?
Firebird, 68.
Yeah, okay. I remember you having a cool car. So your parents live in McCammon?
They live in McCammon now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So let's go back. I have a question about Turner's. Did you work with Sean Millward? I remembered Sean Millward working at Turner's for a while.
I don't remember that. Yeah.
They had some games in the back too, right? Didn't they have like 1942 or something?
They had some games back there. Yeah.
Do you guys
I don't
remember that
remember what
game? It was like you were a World War II pilot. No,
Better memory than me, buddy.
no.
I
They
don't
had
know if I ever went in Turner's. I just don't remember.
I remember the open face sandwiches. That's what I remember about Turner.
Yeah, I remember that.
Those are good.
Mm-hmm.
But they had an area in the back, right? With stuff in games.
I remember a small area in the back, yes. But I remember it was asteroids back there too.
They had asteroids there.
I think so.
Bluebell had asteroids. Alan Adler always had the high school on asteroids.
Oh, really?
Because his initials were AAA.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I remember that, but I
That's
remember
awesome.
stupid stuff like that.
Did you hang out in Soda or Preston?
Soda.
Soda. Okay.
Yeah. Went to Preston a couple times, whatnot, but if I was going to hang out, it would probably be in Soda.
Were you hanging out at the Brass Lantern with Scott and Tina?
I didn't.
That's awesome.
Good pizza,
Maybe
though.
I was thinking maybe you had a double date with Scott and Tina at the Brass Lantern. I don't know.
Oh, gosh, nothing I remember.
All right. How about Pocatello or Logan?
Actually, we would do both. I would prefer Logan.
Who wouldn't really?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I said, mom, dad, they live in McCammon, so my mom calls it Pokey. Yeah. I lived in Pocatello for a little while when I was starting to go to school, and at Dusty and I lived there.
Oh, is that right?
Yep, we had an
He's-
apartment.
He's still in that area.
Yeah, he and Jen are in income. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about the county fair. Did you go to the fair? Did you enjoy the fair?
I did enjoy the fair. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I remember the parade before the big rodeo, and
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I just thought that the county fair was pretty cool.
Did the parade go by your house?
Went by my house.
Yeah. Did it?
Yeah, because we were on like the circle route.
that return
on Main
loop?
Street, and then it would come around kind of by the school and then down our road.
Yeah.
Did you play baseball, Little League baseball? You did,
think
right?
I played 2 years. I think it's 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I remembered you.
Yeah.
Baseball a little bit.
Yeah.
I got one more follow-up question too.
Yeah.
When you worked for the farmers moving pipe, who were the farmers that you worked for?
Oh, that's a good
Harris's. Robert Harris.
Robert Harris, all the way down in Lego.
I worked for him for 4 years. Sean Perkins and Jeff Taggart worked with me the last year,
Okay.
their senior year. I worked with the Harrises for several years. Yeah.
So you would drive down to Lego?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Those some early mornings then, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah.
But when you're driving a nice 68 Firebird, then no big deal.
I love it. I love my car. It was great.
Whatever happened to it?
I ended up having to sell it when I was sick. I needed some funds to pay some bills.
Wow.
My dad has just finished the 1969 Pontiac GTO, and he painted it the same color.
Uh-huh.
And it's an incredible car.
Yeah.
He did this my whole growing up. He would build these cars and sell them.
Yeah.
And I told him with this one that if he's going to sell it, then I will take it off his hands. Yeah.
That's awesome. Very good.
Yeah.
In the course of a few years, you lost your Firebird and your large intestine. Like, oh, gone.
I did.
Yeah. Wow.
Gone.
Huh. All right. Let's see. I think I'm out of questions.
Section 5, the introspection. We get to really see who you are. So what's something we might not know about you other than that you lost your large intestine?
Do you guys remember that I got hit by lightning when I was 16?
I don't remember that. Were you hanging out with Kevin Smith? He also got hit by lightning, if I remember right.
You did?
I was actually with Roger Rigby, Scott's cousin. I was working for the Harrises, and we were out on the Graysland out north of Soda.
Oh, yeah.
A storm rolled in, and I took the lightning and ended up in Soda. Roger drove me in, and yeah, it was crazy.
Do you remember the strike? No?
I do. I remember it being very bright and very loud, and then I woke up in Soda.
How long would you have to be in the hospital for something like that?
I wasn't long. Everything obviously was fine, but yeah, that's it.
Maybe that's what gave you your powers to play football. You don't think?
Yeah.
Lightning Boy or something. I don't know.
Right.
Wow. I don't remember that. I'm sure we knew that, but
Vaguely familiar, but I wouldn't have remembered it on my own for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
when was the last time that you were in Grace?
Wow, so long ago. Honestly, I don't remember. Last week, we went back to McCammon. We had to attend a wedding of my friends in Salt Lake. And so Lisa and I went and spent a couple nights with my mom and dad. And we took their side-by-side up on the top of the mountain and overlooked Grace. Yeah. That's the closest I've been to Grace in, oh my gosh, probably 20 years.
Did you float the idea, say, hey, Lisa, why don't we take the detour around, take an extra hour back to Salt Lake before we get on the plane and go see my childhood home?
She wanted to go ride the Razor, and Dad was like, let's go the back way up behind Lava Hot Springs, because that's where my mom's from. My mom's side is back there, and her side of the family owned a lot of property on the backside of Lava and the backside of Mount Baldy. I mean, that was years ago. So it was really Dad's idea to take her back up in there to say,
that's where we used to live.
Yeah.
How long ago did your parents move to McCammon?
Man, it's probably been 15 years, maybe longer. Well, actually, they moved to Mendon, down the road from Kevin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did that while I was on my mission.
Oh, okay. It's been a while then.
Yeah, they lived in Wyoming for a while and then back.
Yeah, isn't that something that when your people leave town, it's out of the way enough, you just can't get back?
Yeah.
So what does growing up in Grace mean to you at this point of your life?
Family, all the things that we all did together. When you look at the way things are nowadays, I can't imagine being a student in high school nowadays. Just couldn't. And so Grace to me is just family. We were all so close. We did so many things together. Nolan, I remember you and I in Mr. Washburn's arts and crafts. Do you remember you and I crushing up Smarties and snorting them?
That was Tiny Tarts too, I think.
Yes, Tiny Tarts.
Tiny Tarts. That was also an algebra class. I remember doing that. And I want to say JJ was involved in that,
Probably.
and
Yeah.
maybe Robert Pearson too. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think I might have damaged my right nostril by doing that. You're not supposed to do that, right?
No, I'm pretty sure it's not a healthy thing to do. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny that you brought that one up. For you, you remember it from Mr.
Washburn.
Washburn's class in junior high?
I do. I remember it being in his classroom.
Did you ever do that, Corky?
I don't think so. No.
That was kind of a big thing. Snorting honey tarts, and what was the other thing you said? Smarties.
That's fun.
That's crazy.
Yeah, to answer your question, just family.
Is there something from your time growing up that you would do differently? And I think you kind of talked about that earlier.
Yeah, I would study. I would put more of a focus on being a student rather than messing around.
Rather than snorting tiny tart things.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. You could still kind of taste the flavor of the candy, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel you've changed from high school until now?
Gosh, I have no idea.
I will tell you, honestly, I was surprised at your profession. I think that's really cool. You're thriving in it. You're managing people, and not just people, but buildings, and that's incredible. Kudos.
I love my career. I love it. I get to take care of people's loved ones. And often it's in the end of their life, and I super grateful for that. One of the counselors, and I can't remember who it was, told me that I would never make it past being a garbage man.
Wow.
I don't know if Mr. Kingston would have said that, would he?
No.
Probably the guy before. Remember the taller, curly-haired guy that everyone liked?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
I don't remember
It
his
was like a
name.
sit-in when he got suspended or
Yeah.
something. That guy.
Yeah. I just remember that really clear. It was like
That seems like something he
all
would
right.
have said.
That might have been him.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. There you go.
But would you envision that you'd have 6 kids and 5 grandkids and
I
Belong
think
to a boat club.
I definitely hoped for the kids and whatnot. Love the family. And so, yeah, just super grateful.
good? You're right on track to achieve all your life's desires. One fishing trip or one boating trip at a time, huh?
Yeah, indeed. It's been awesome watching you guys. I love hearing your stories and what you guys have accomplished and done as well. So kudos to the two of you too. And I love that you're doing this. This was super excited because shame on me. I graduated and moved out and moved on. And I just have not done a good job of keeping in touch with people.
I think we're all members of that boat club for sure.
Yeah.
Life gets very busy. 2 or 3 years go by and you're like, oh man, I haven't seen that person for a while or talked to that person.
Right.
It's kind of hard to find where they're at and what they're doing sometimes. But yeah, we appreciate it that you would take the time to meet with us and that you watch the episodes.
Yeah, that means a lot. It's funny, there's another one that we've all been in Texas. Travis was the other one. Travis Windley lived in Texas too.
Really?
Yeah.
Travis spent some time here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Really?
Whataburger or In-N-Out?
Oh, Whataburger.
Gotta be Whataburger. In-N-Out wasn't in Texas when I was there, and I've never had In-N-Out, but Whataburger's awesome. You know what they do? They lower ketchup from its pedestal and they say, you got to put on your own ketchup, buddy. We're going to do mustard, but if you want ketchup, you have to do it. I just love that about Whataburger.
Yeah.
The standard hamburger, I think, in most places comes with mustard.
Yeah. Not ketchup, though. Perfect.
But I love that Whataburger has spicy ketchup.
I was just going to say, I love their spicy ketchup too, Nolan.
That's right.
Yeah, it's good.
Mix it with jalapeno ranch, and it's good on almost anything.
That sounds actually really good.
Yeah, it does. San Antonio. I'll have to look you up the next time I'm there. No,
not too far away. About 4 hours, probably. You're on the other side of Houston.
Yeah, it's southeast of Houston.
Southeast.
Yeah, way southeast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have good food places in Houston. I know that.
Oh yeah, great food on the island.
I'm sure there is.
Anytime you're down, let me know.
Okay, definitely.
We'll do some boating and we'll take out and go to
stay on the boat.
We'll stay on the boat.
Yeah. Thank you, Chad. I'm so excited that we were able to chat and catch up. I would think of you once in a while as like, Chad James, where's Chad James? How can I get to talk to Chad James? So here we are. I'm
so excited. This has been great. What's funny is I'm by myself watching the episodes and there'll be conversation and I like start to burn out, and I have to think I'm just listening. We need everybody on.
We thought about doing that, just having a big meeting, but we don't know how to do it via Zoom where it wouldn't be too chaotic.
Yeah. It would be like a 17-hour meeting, I think.
Like a camp meeting back in the day.
Time everybody got a chance to say something or rebuttal, or
we could do like rooms or something and just rotate rooms. I don't know.
Right.
There's got to be a way to do it.
I think they call that a class reunion.
Well, we could do an old-timey class reunion too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been to any of the class reunions, Chad?
I went to the 5-year.
Okay.
Was it?
You're better than me. I didn't even make it to that one.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a 40th class reunion, hopefully. So that would be cool.
That'd be fun.
The people in that picture right there would have to plan it.
There are 3
why
of
that
them.
picture exists.
Yeah, I absolutely think 3 of them would be great.
What was your position? Are you the treasurer or secretary?
Seriously, I'm pretty sure we have to ask Scott, but I'm quite certain you yahoos put my name in there as just a joke, and I ended up being this lowly treasurer or whatever it was.
It sure sounds like something we would do.
I'm certain of it.
Yahoos? Who are the yahoos? I want to know who those people were. Dusty.
Tina has already said that she's going to be in charge of the food committee for our 40th reunion.
That's right.
Good.
We have that covered. Scott said you would take care of the lodging, that you'd be in charge of that. So
Galveston in the wintertime would be pretty nice.
Yeah, let's do it.
Not in the summer, but in the winter.
We could have a great time at the lagoon.
That's right. You got all the boats and everything.
If you have 2 bodies of water in the town you live in and the neighborhood you live in, then you know that it's a nice place.
Is that what they say?
That's how you know. All right, Chad.
Hey, guys.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Stay in touch.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Take care.
Galveston, I still hear your sea winds blowing. I still see her dark eyes glowing. She was 21 when I left Galveston. Galveston, oh Galveston, I still hear your sea waves crashing while I watch the cannons flashing.